Hi, Melania. Do you remember when we talked about how people who spread anti-American, pro-Russian, anti-Ukrainian propaganda in the United States do this because they are somehow assets of Russia, maybe involuntarily, maybe voluntarily, or somehow they are getting something from Russia? Well, now we got some evidence, actual proof.
So you're
Hallelujah.
asking me if I remember every single video we made on our channel so
Every
far.
single video on our channel. Like all these people saying that it was all NATO fault, that we should say sorry to Russia and all this stuff. It was not just an accident. Probably.
No, definitely. Because, well, now for everybody to behold, there is a 32-page federal indictment that accuses two people named Konstantin Kalashnikov, and I cannot stress how funny this is. Like, if it's Russians, obviously Kalashnikov or Pushkin, and Yelena Afanasyeva, who are employees of an infamous Russian state TV, Russia Today, which operates all over the globe, and some people pretend like it's not, like it's a genuine news source. Well, so these people, Kalashnikov and Afanasyeva, have been accused of conducting a money laundering operation that spent nearly $10 million on efforts to covertly influence public opinion and sow social divisions, including placing blame on Ukraine regarding the war with Russia. So, as you said, impossible has happened. I mean, this is at this point, yeah, I can't even like commit to the act you're doing, Mark, because I'm so tired.
You know this meme. You know this meme with two cosmonauts, and one is having a
with the gun
towards the other, and it was Russia all along, and it always has been. It's
always
like that.
Been,
yeah. Oh my God! No way! Russia invested millions of dollars into what appeared to be a Russian disinformation scheme.
From the very beginning, from the very first word that came out of that video, or any video really, you were like, Russian asset. No, you have to have a 32 fucking page indictment about that.
In 2024, I mean, like not 4 years ago, not 5, not 10, but now. But the interesting thing about that is that it was really successful project, and the other part.
We're not going to name it yet. We're not going to name it.
It's
We're going to speak about it later. It's a big.
It's probably going to be on a
It's like a gender reveal. Which one is it? Is it this one or is it this one?
Yeah, but. The funny part, this is the things which we were talking about a lot, especially recently. Russians are really good at this. They are really good at propaganda in the West and to spreading their message in the West. And two, they are not really shy of spending a lot of money on that. And for them, it's nothing. For American commentators and journalists and just businessmen, it's huge money.
So in that indictment, there isn't a name that is named, so we cannot know what company that is by far, but people on the internet are smarty pants, and I have found that. So this company allegedly created and posted hundreds of English language videos on social media sites, including, surprise, surprise, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and X, and echoed Russian state propaganda and garnered 16 million views on YouTube alone. So these people, Kalashnikov and Afanasyeva, Russian citizens obviously, who are not caught yet, so they're still at large, they were charged with conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, and conspiracy to commit money laundering, which is punishable by up to 20 years. And by the way, while that was going on, prosecution also seized 32 Russian-controlled internet domains that were used in a state-controlled effort called Doppelganger. And I love the name, by the way, because that's literally what it is. To undermine international support for Ukraine, namely Ukraine. So in the case of this Doppelganger, Russians, and I'm going to say it the way it is, Russians were trying to fool people, especially Americans, into thinking they were looking at normal media outlets or normal news services. So this is... I want everybody to remember what is happening on X and Twitter this entire time, where you see these sort of legitimate news media. For instance, they call themselves World News or World on Alert or News Media Today or something. So like they take this very inexplicably transparent name, they buy Elon's blue check mark, and then they pretend to be media, and people actually look on it and think, oh, well, this has a blue check mark, and also this has this kind of name, like, so probably it's a legit news media source and I should consume it. And so, yeah, the same thing happened with these 32 Russian-controlled internet domains. So also, apart from a whole lobbying Russian concepts thing in the States, Kalashnikov and Afanasyeva set up shell companies to funnel money to the TENET company and used fake names to direct the content and posting of hundreds of videos that sought to influence the US political debate over topics including immigration and inflation. So, very importantly, domestic policy, not foreign policy. So you cannot be like, well, I'm American, I don't care. It's about Ukraine very, very far away. No, immigration and inflation is something that you guys should be very concerned about inside your own country. This is internal policy, and these guys don't influence things that have to do with Russia or Ukraine per se. They influence everything you guys do and what you think.
This is like it's on us. It's our problem, right? We talk about
Again,
Russia and Ukraine a lot.
Something else is also our problem.
It's our problem. We talk about Ukraine, Russia a lot. We also want to spread information and spread the message, the right message. We don't talk about American internal politics because we don't have a say in that. We know about Russia and we know about Ukraine. We know about this war. These people, no, their specific aim was to influence internal American politics, not necessarily like Ukraine specific or Russia specific. They were doing all the internal culture wars and all the internal politics to manipulate American opinion. Yeah, so that's not good. And those are Russians. There are Russian state money. Again, Russia Today is a Russian state company which paid for that.
And something else that was important in this piece that actually said that these people used fake names to direct the content and post videos about internal policy. I want you guys to remember that because that is very important. And I'm going to give you a little spoiler because people on the internet found out who the company is and who the people in charge are. And something as important as that those people used aliases, so they didn't clearly state that their names were Kalashnikov and Afanasyeva. It lets people who will be accused of being connected with this and who will be accused, of working with these people, it lets them do something called plausible deniability, which some of them did already. They're like, oh, we didn't know they were bad people. We didn't know they were Russians. They were just these nice people who decided to finance this media, and then they told us what to say. No, they used aliases. They didn't use their own names. That's the point. So these guys could have called themselves Smith and Taylor, and these guys would lap it up. They didn't do their due diligence. They didn't check who's financing them. So now they can literally plead ignorance. And they can say, well, I didn't check. It doesn't make them less of, guilty, but it just gives you an idea of what kind of people we're dealing with. People who don't check where their paycheck comes from.
Absolutely. So the scheme goes like that. Let us be short. Russia Today, the Russian state media company, which does the information operations abroad in the West, and not only in the West, in other countries as well, hired these two guys in the United States to create a media company, which then will hire popular American far-right commentators who are popular among one of the parties, and set up this shop with YouTube, Twitter, X, Rumble, and other sites social media sites where you can post content, and then create this content with these popular commentators. They will pay these commentators big money, so to attract the biggest names in the media, to attract a lot of views, and these commentators will get, some of them will get the just their shows, just do the culture war shows or something like that. Others will get the tasks like, hey, please talk about this specific story about Ukraine or Russia in this manner. And then these commentators like, yes, sir, and go and make these shows. What they also did, they took over, like, at first they were like letting this company in the United States with these two founders to operate on themselves. Then the Russia Today personnel, Russians from Russian state company, overtook the social media completely and posted there themselves on behalf of this channel. And these commentators often reposted this channel, interacted with it, promoted it, etc., etc. So yeah, this is how it goes. How do you think, Melania? How much did these commentators get, and who the commentators were? Let's do the review.
Let's start with how much, because how much money would it actually, like, how much money would somebody want to be paid in order not to even look up their employer? Like, how much? Like, it can't be $2, right? Or like $100 per video. That's stupid. It has to be like some ridiculous amount of money so that people just do what they're told and not even like check anything. But also, like, if it's too big of a sum of money, they will probably, but then again, we're talking about smart people, so I don't know. Like, if I was paid a ridiculous amount of money per video, and I didn't know who was paying me that money, at some point I would be like, okay, listen, guys, did you like invest in Bitcoin or like 20 years ago or something? Or like, where's this money coming from? So it has to be something ridiculous enough that it's actually something that I would want to do, but also not crazy enough that I don't check. Or actually, I don't know, maybe they just didn't care to check. Maybe the only thing that was bothering them was cheap money.
How about numbers of the, let's say, the main actors in the Seinfeld series, like the salary numbers of that people, or the numbers of the main actors in, I don't know, Scrubs or Friends or something like that?
You severely overestimate my knowledge about people's salaries.
Yeah, like millions a year.
I have no idea. Yeah,
millions and millions a year. Yeah. How about that? How about you earn more than the biggest stars on the TV in 2000s?
More than like Dr. House?
I'm not sure. I didn't check it.
Well, there you go.
This indictment is gold because it actually provides a lot of info about how they negotiated their salaries. So on or about February 8, 2023, Founder 1 reported to Persona 1 on Founder 1's outreach to Commentator 1 and Commentator 2. Advised that Commentator 1 said it would need to be closer to 5 million yearly for him to be interested. And the Commentator 2 said it would take 100K per weekly episode to make it worth his while, which is almost the same number.
Can I make a stupid joke now?
Year. Yeah.
This literally sounds like poor person's mindset. I say this because I'm like this. People are like, how much money do you... And I'm like, 5 million if for just me to be interested. Like, how do you even kind of come up with that price tag? Do you have like a point of reference? Did anybody ever pay you this much also? So you know what your price is, just, for you to be interested. They just like, they're such a bad liars. They're like 5 million. And then like, but Russia has 5 million a year. So they're like, okay.
So 2 weeks later, they negotiated, and Russian replied, yes, let's go, because initially they were negotiating like Russians told to the founders that we want to spend like 1 million or something. Then this founder said, well, it's gonna be like 2 million or something, and then they came back with the 5 million number, and Russians immediately like, yeah, okay, no problem, 5 million it is. With bonuses, signing bonuses, etc. And the funny part is, these people, which are Team Pool, the dumbest person
on planet Earth,
wearing a beanie, and also the meanest one. And also Dave Rubin, the most boring comedian on this planet. The biggest combo. I'm not sure even like. I don't know if they asked anybody else, but I'm not surprised these people agreed. So
Actually,
yeah.
I really like when I came up with this. When you sent me the information, I was not surprised at all. Like,
yeah, it was like, of course.
of course. Did you take like the entire Department of Justice to figure it out? Jesus.
So these people, they are kind of rich, right? Tim Pool is supposedly rich. He has his big compound with skateboarding. He says he's rich, yeah. But I assume with his views, he has a lot of views. Unfortunately, for some reason, I don't know how, he might be earning this money. And this number, while it is a lot for one episode of live show per week, it's not kind of like it's not crazy big, you know. It's not. They could have asked more. They could have genuinely asked more, and I think they are really, really sad about this part right now. They could earn more if they, if of course this money won't be.
Yeah, sure. Toy money.
So yeah, so this channel TENET, called TENET, which is also great name.
So cringy. It's so fucking cringy. Jesus, they're so self unaware. It's ridiculous. Like, sure, okay.
Probably they know their audience. Look at this poster of theirs. This is
so
it made me
so
scream.
badass. Yeah, like literally, I was like, listen, there have been way too many like serious internet materials where I thought they were memes at first, and then it's like official communication. So the first thing was when GOP official Twitter account posted that poster with like all of the guys, and I thought, okay, this is a meme, but then it wasn't. And then you sent me this. I was like, okay, this is a meme, and then it wasn't. So what is this?
Yeah, it's like the worst metal band having a concert.
Yeah, literally, it's like the shittiest
in an empty venue.
fucking,
yeah.
With like 12 people attending,
Their
10 of them are
friends and
like they're
relatives.
by mistake, yeah, and one of
they're
them
like
is their mom.
looking at their phones, like when does it end? Yeah. So this is them. They posting these things, but yeah, Tim Pool.
And I can't believe we're actually talking about him in this fucking.
I didn't want.
So
I mean,
stupid.
It's not even worth it. But Tim Pool already made a statement that.
And this is in the rankings of stupid fucking statements. This one takes the cake for the longest time.
So he said
I think like Jake Paul made a better apology video than this fucking guy. I mean, this is what I think about him.
I'm not sure he's aware of what's going on, to be honest. So yeah, in one of the cases, legal cases of Tim Pool from the past, there was a story when he decided to represent himself without an attorney in court. So
because he thought he could pull it off. Because fuck that 5 years of education, fuck that law degree. I can do this by myself, and then I don't check who pays me money on purpose.
He actually is a school dropout, so it's not only 5. It's also he dropped out after 8th grade, so it's plus 4 or 5. So it's like 10 years.
So he can barely read. And then this guy makes fucking videos online. At least we have an education, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So this guy, he says that he was a victim. He was a victim.
Yeah, poor baby didn't know where the money was coming from. Oh no.
Some guy named Edward gave me money, and I didn't know he's Russian. So
I'm a victim. Please help now.
He said he's victim, but also he said in the end that. Quote, Putin is a scumbag. Russia sucks donkey balls. Oh, okay. But just a couple of days before...
this person represented themselves in court. So
just a couple of days before he said this thing.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
So he probably forgot that, like, the if you post something on the internet, it stays there and you
forever.
cannot just like say opposite things every day. But nonetheless, how did these guys agree to this sneaky business of theirs?
Greed. Just greed. It's greed. They don't care. This is, by the way, something very important that all these, especially far-right pundits, will tell you. One of the many things, one of the many reasons why people and their audiences look up to them and want them is because their audiences believe that these guys care about them. Guys, they don't care about you. They really don't give a shit. They will tell you things like, oh, time is now to do all this, and the elites don't care, and all of that, and screw that. They really, they don't love you. They don't care about you. They only do this for money, and they will say anything online for cash. They literally will. And then they'll plead ignorance and they'll say nothing. I wanted to, we kept this till the end of the video. I want to quote a good friend of this show, Mr. Michael Wise. He made a pretty good summary of what has happened. He said on the internet, on Twitter, "Witting or unwitting doesn't always matter. In many cases, the Russian services prefer if you don't know you're working for them. The least trustworthy asses, historically, are those who do it for the money. If they're your targets, it is best to hide who you are precisely because of their mercenary, i.e. duplicitous nature." There was a time when the thought of working for Moscow for money was anathema to those who happily volunteered to do so. Idealistic communists or anti-fascists in the 20s and 30s. The cynicism of Stalinism led to a decline in the species of agent, among other degenerative tendencies, and still later in the Cold War. Recall that Oleg Gordievsky said of Aldrich Ames, he was a greedy bastard. Another type in the eccentric egomaniac who thinks he possesses a special talent for discovery or some secret knowledge, which his handler is all too eager to encourage him to keep on thinking he possesses. The man spoon-fed falsehoods cooked up in Russia, who passes them off as his own rejoinder to the conventional wisdom of mainstream/corporate media, is catnip to risk. Usually the handler rightly thinks such an agent is an imbecile. Literally, this, I couldn't explain it better if I tried to. First of all, cash. They love the money-hungry ones. But the last tweet of Michael's, they all pretend like they possess some, this is their selling point. We are not mainstream. We will tell you all these secrets that the government is hiding from you. This is exactly, I think, the logic behind, what's his name?
Dr. Carlson.
Yes, thank you. How did you know who I was talking about? I just forgot his name for some reason. This is why he...
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about him so much, but go ahead.
Yeah, so you can now, because the reason he went to Russia was because he wanted to meet Putin himself, because that is something that is unattainable for most people. He really wasted his fucking opportunity to ask him about real shit. Putin was talking batshit crazy stuff to Tucker, and he knew about this. But now he can forever say that, I interviewed Putin and be very, very exclusive, when in reality it's worth nothing.
Yeah, people always argue about Tucker Carlson and other people like Tim Pool and others, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So are they useful idiots, or are they on Russian salary, or are they FSB assets? They could be all of those things at the same time, both being absolute imbeciles, useful idiots, and also paid by Russia, even involuntarily. It's like we should just stop this discussion. Those people who do these things, they are probably somehow related to Russia. Maybe they don't even know it because they are so fucking stupid and they are literally brain dead.
Literally. Can we just stop on that? We don't say this because we want to offend them. We can offend them any other ways. But they are literally dumb as a stump. This is not even funny. They are stupid, and you should never Never listen to stupid people. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and Russia will be happy to assist these people in different ways, even like help them get views, help them with bots online, people commenting on their tweets, saying good things to them, people, I don't know, from business related to Russia, trying to become their friends, riding them on their yachts and airplanes, etc., etc. So there are like thousands of ways to influence that but the one thing stays the same. If you see that someone acts as a Russian asset, it's probably because he is, and it doesn't fucking matter if he gets money from Russia, if he knows that he's a Russian asset or anything else. If he acts like that, then he is. Then he advances Russian message, Russian position, Russian politics inside your country, and that's probably not good.
In Ukraine, we have a saying: if it looks like Russians, smells like Russians, and talk like Russians, it's Russians. Like, it's that simple. Just keep that in mind. Speaking of keeping things in mind, please subscribe to this channel. Please share this video among your friends and family, especially abroad. Please copy the link in your bar on your browser. Go on X or Facebook, press paste, and then write a tweet or a post in English about something like, "Ooh, guys, please go watch this video about Tim Pool, the generate you'd have nothing about." Yes. And press send or tweet or post or something, and this will bring immense joy to the host of the channel and you.
These guys, especially Dave Rubin, they were a little bit concerned about who they are working for before signing $5 million contract. So they asked these founders, like, who is this guy? Who's this guy we're working for? Like, where's money coming from? And they told them that this guy he's called Eduard Grigoryan. He's like banker and a very rich guy, just wants to have a business online. So they asked again, after they were proposed such a big money, they asked again, so like, how can we get at least some, I don't know, LinkedIn link or something like that? Look at him, what does he do? And they were sent the LinkedIn link to the channel, and they were like, nah, that's not actually good. I want to get acquainted to this guy. I want to know him better. So these Russians were like thinking of that, like, what should we do? We should do something. They want to know this guy. There's no LinkedIn page. He's fictional completely. We should send them something. So they made a resume for this banker guy, which looks like this. and
we could do a better fucking job.
Yeah. So they just took some random photo of the guy.
So much success, very well. Private jet.
With the
so much text.
With Russian first name and Armenian second name. That's Hungarian for sure.
Very Hungarian.
And so the
born in Brussels. Wow.
Oh wow. So
I'm like reading here. Wait. No, please let's stop here. So he was, according to this resume, born in Brussels, Excel neighborhood in 1975 to French-Armenian father.
Oh no, wait, he's not Hungarian. French-American father and Belgian. Sorry for that. That's French name and Belgian surname. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. And then bachelor's degree in economics and management, cum laude, so he's fancy. And then master's of accounting, finance, and political science, all of that. Jesus, he's so smart.
I like this. Various 2005, 2012, various positions at Bank One in Brussels in France. This is how various.
This is how I tell people, like, what would you do? Oh, this and that, like various positions.
No, this and that, stupid. You know. What's that gap in your resume? Oh, this and that, you know,
various
like
positions.
Working for Russians.
Yeah.
So you know what actually spooked the Dave Rubin, the commentator one? what actually made him feel uncomfortable with this resume? Maybe you think this is the styling of this resume. Maybe the photo, which looks like it's not real. No, the actual thing that that made him uncomfortable was a problem with the profile we sent over, specifically the reference to social justice. I think it may be because that's usually a term used by liberals, but we are trying to create a conservative network. Founder one suggestion that commentator one, Dave Rubin, probably, and Edward could simply speak together to clarify the profile.
They're so scared of words, yet they're not scared of $100,000s just landing on their heads for no reason. Like, they're so fucking dumb. And then later on, this funny fucking thing happened along the lines of the so-called. There was a Russian meme from it's a long time ago about a spy called Stirlitz. So they actually told them that Eduard Grigoryan was in Paris, right? And they scheduled a meeting according to the Parisian time and the US time. But then, because Eduard was not in Paris, but somewhere a bit more to the east, he forgot to switch his clocks, and he appeared on that Zoom meeting a little bit earlier, and then he wrote to them like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm here," and then, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to switch the clocks." So he was literally like, "This is so dumb."
He wrote, "I am there, guys."
And it's like, "Sorry, wrong hour, didn't sync the calendar." It's so stupid. Like, it's not about syncing the calendar with like American time zone or something. No, he forgot. Like, it's so fucking dumb.
And then approximately 2 minutes later, Edward Grigoryan performed a Google search for time in Paris.
They're so stupid. Oh my, I can't.
Yeah,
my God.
These guys,
what time is it in Paris now? Oh my God.
So these guys talked to some Russian, didn't care much. Like, Edward Grigoryan sounds about right. Once there was a time when this Edward Grigoryan wrote from the other people's email, and then the people working in the firm were concerned, like, what the hell is this? So they answered, "Oh yeah, Grigoryan sent me this email and asked to forward you."
Sure. This is like so believable and so plausible. Ugh, God. Just like, we always consider, like that these spies are so smart and these agents are so smart. But in reality, they forget to like switch profiles.
The funny part is, so the Russia Today actually made the response, right, Melania?
Yeah, they did. And they wrote, "Ha ha ha." I'm literally not going to tell you anything else about that response, except for they decided, and might as well, you know what? I have to say this. I'm sorry. I have to be kind of transparent about this. They kind of are in the right for doing that. I cannot blame them.
And they will continue doing that if they can funnel the money through some offshore accounts in different places on Earth to the American and Canadian company, then to pay some of the most famous American political commentators. They will do it again, and the DOJ it will take for DOJ another 2 years to find another one, like another company who's paying someone who's paying Tucker Carlson or something. And it will take another 5 years. And during all this time, these people will successfully influence the American opinion, and then they will try to instigate civil war in the United States. This is what Tim Pool, by the way, is saying all the time. This guy who's paid by Russia, he's like writing civil war. He's like, this is his fetish, he masturbates to civil war stuff. So these guys are trying to instigate a civil war in the United States to destroy the country. Literally, that's their work, and that's their job. And they will continue doing that. Well, it will take years and years for DOJ to investigate. So who's the Russian agent? Who's that? Yeah. So that's how it goes. They are in the right. Good job, Russians. Didn't know we will say this on this channel, but that's another point. They are really good at this. You should understand this. You are not,
You're not
You're
equipped.
not-
You're not equipped
Yeah.
to deal with this. You're not equipped. I mean, nobody is, but at least, you should try. But nevertheless, they're better than anybody in that sort of thing. So be careful. And just like if somebody, again, the Ukrainian wisdom, if it speaks like a Russian, sounds like a Russian, and smells like a Russian, it's a Russian, all right?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Subscribe to this channel, like this channel, because we don't get as much money, right? We are funded by the CIA.
And they have really low budgets.
And they're the budgets are fucking horrible. So yeah, please subscribe to this channel, like us, subscribe to donate money to Ukrainian charities, and do what's right. Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.